Today, we're diving into an absolute classic, Charles F. Haanel's 1916 masterpiece, The Master Key System. This is one of those books that's been a secret weapon for successful people for over a century. And in this explainer, we are going to break down its core ideas for you, so let's jump right in. So let's start with the huge question that Haanel puts on the table right away. He basically says, hey, stop looking outside of yourself. His whole point is that we don't need to go out and find power, because we've already got it. The real secret isn't about acquiring something new. It's about learning how to use the incredible power that's already wired into you. Okay, so to even begin to tap into that power, we have to get our heads around Haanel's most fundamental concept, this idea that every single one of us is living in two worlds at the exact same time. On one hand, you've got the world within. This is your inner landscape, your thoughts, your beliefs, your feelings. Haanel calls this the cause. And on the other hand, you've got the world without. That's all the stuff you can see and touch, your job, your health, your bank account. He calls this the effect. Now here is the absolute game changer. Most people spend their entire lives trying to change the effects. It's like trying to change the reflection in a mirror without changing your face. Haanel says, no. The real power is in going to the root cause, your inner world. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? It's the core principle of the entire system. Everything you experience on the outside is just a printout, a direct result of the program you're running on the inside. If you want a different result, you got to change the program. So how do we actually do that? How do we work with this inner world? Well, Haanel breaks the mind down into what you can basically think of as an operating system, and it's got two main components. First up, you've got the conscious mind. This is the captain of your ship. It's the part of you that's thinking and reasoning right now. It analyzes and makes choices, and it uses your five senses to navigate the physical world. But Haanel had this amazing metaphor for it. He called the conscious mind the watchman at the gate. And why is that so perfect? Because its most important job is to act like a security guard, deciding which thoughts and ideas get to pass through into the much, much more powerful subconscious mind. It's literally the guardian of your inner world. So this watchman is always on duty. It has the power to discriminate between helpful and harmful thoughts. It can reason things out. But its greatest power, by far, is the power of choice. It gets to decide which suggestions get past the gate. And that, right there, is where your personal power is truly found. Now for part 2 of this mental OS, the subconscious mind. If your conscious mind is the captain, the subconscious is, well, it's the entire crew, the engine room, and the ship itself. It's the home of all your memories, your deepest emotions, and all of your habits. It works 24/7, keeping your heart beating and your lungs breathing without you ever giving it a single thought. But it's so much more than just the body's autopilot. Haanel saw the subconscious as this vast, incredible resource. It's a storehouse of every memory you've ever had. It's a fountain of creative ideas and intuition. And this is key. It's your direct connection to a higher universal intelligence. So let's put it together nice and simple. The conscious mind is your reasoning will. It's the director. It gives the orders. The subconscious mind is pure creative energy. It's the builder. It doesn't question the orders. It just takes the blueprints it's given by the conscious mind and gets to work building your reality. And this connection is where things get really, really big. This is where Haanel explains how our own individual mind plugs into an infinite source of creative power that's available to everyone. Okay, so what is this universal mind? This is probably Haanel's most mind-blowing idea. He says there's one single intelligent creative consciousness that flows through everything in the universe. Think of it like a vast ocean. Your individual mind isn't separate from it. You're like a wave in that ocean. You are a part of this universal power, which means you have access to everything it's capable of. So what's the bridge? How do our thoughts actually connect to this universal power? Well, it's what many now call the law of attraction. Here's how Haanel breaks it down. First, your thought is pure creative energy. Second, that concentrated thought forms a sort of invisible mold or matrix in the universal mind. Third, the law of attraction causes this mold to connect with its physical counterpart. And finally, that energy fills the mold and brings your thought into physical reality. Okay, that is the theory. It sounds amazing, right? But how do we actually put this master key into the lock and turn it? Let's get into the practical how-to side of things. The number one tool in the toolbox is visualization. And let's be super clear, this is not just idle daydreaming. It is the focused, disciplined work of creating a crystal clear, detailed mental movie of what you want, as if it's already real. This is how you create that mold we were just talking about. The whole process really unfolds in 3 clear phases. First, idealization. You create the blueprint. What is it you truly want? Next, visualization. You build it in your mind with as much sensory detail as possible. See it, feel it, hear it. And the final step, materialization. He says that part happens almost on its own, as a natural consequence of the first 2 steps. But to do any of this effectively, Haanel knew you had to train your mind. You need mental muscle. So he prescribed these foundational exercises to build that focus, learning to sit perfectly still to master your body, learning to quiet your thoughts to master your mind, and learning to let go of fear and worry to master your emotions. And here is one of the most powerful tools he offers, this affirmation. Now, he argues this isn't just you trying to convince yourself of something. He says this is a scientifically precise statement of fact about your true spiritual self. By repeating it, you impress this truth onto your subconscious, which then gets to work making it your physical reality. So why is this all so incredibly important? Why is mastering this so transformative? Well, check out this number. According to Haanel, at least 90% of our mental life is subconscious. Think about that. When you consciously choose your thoughts, you're not just thinking, you are literally programming the supercomputer that is actively creating 90% of your life. And when you boil it all down, Haanel's entire massive system really comes down to this one simple, incredibly powerful idea. You can be what you will to be. It's a declaration of your power, your freedom, and your responsibility. The choice is yours. And so we're going to end where we started, with a question for you. Because the Master Key System isn't just something to know, it's something to do. If your thoughts are truly the building blocks of your life, take a look at the thoughts you've been thinking today. What kind of a world are they building for you?